Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look under the hood of a really significant global market, sports medicine devices.
Hmm.
We've got a 2025 report here. It's pretty packed with insights into, how big this sector is and maybe more importantly, where it's headed.
Exactly. Yeah, think of this as your shortcut, really, to understanding a dynamic area where sports, health, and technology all kind of intersect.
Right.
This report, it gives us the numbers, the analysis,
Yeah.
helps us see the key trends shaping how we treat sports injuries, how we support active lifestyles globally.
Okay.
So our mission really is to pull out the most important nuggets for you without getting bogged down in just a mountain of data.
Okay, good plan. So let's jump right in then. The headline here seems to be the sheer scale and the future growth.
Yeah.
In 2025, this global market for sports medicine devices, it's sitting at a pretty hefty, USD 624.5 million?
That's the number.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting, like you said,
Hmm.
the projections. They show it ballooning to USD 120.5 million by 2033.
Wow, that's almost double a massive expansion.
It really is. And, to put that growth into perspective,
Hmm.
we look at the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate.
Right, the average yearly growth.
Exactly. Think of it that way. This report projects a really robust 8.80% CAGR from 2025 right through to 2033.
Okay.
So yeah, this isn't just some temporary spike. It's looks like a sustained trajectory of pretty significant growth.
And what's the engine? What's driving this, according to the report?
Well, there are a couple of key factors mentioned. First, maybe obviously, is just the rising number of sports-related injuries.
Sure.
But the second, which is really interesting, is more people adopting active lifestyles.
Ah, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword then. More activity is great, obviously, but it also leads to more potential for, bumps, strains, tears.
That's a crucial connection, yeah. We're seeing this global trend towards valuing fitness, well-being, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But with the increased participation in sports, exercise comes a greater demand for solutions to deal with the inevitable injuries.
Right. Hence the growing need for these devices.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's travel the globe a bit. How does this market break down regionally? North America, I see, holds the lion's share currently.
It does. Over 37% of the global revenue. Their market size in 2025 is estimated at USD 2,266.07 million.
Okay, the leader for now.
For now, yes. But it's insightful to look at the pace of growth, too. North America's projected CAGR 2025 to 2033 is still healthy, 7.3%.
And within North America, the U.S. is dominant.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
The U.S. market size, USD 1787.93 million in 2025, CAGR of 7.1%. And that strong performance is likely, supported by its very well-established healthcare system,
Yeah,
advanced infrastructure.
makes sense. And our neighbors, Canada and Mexico.
Yeah, they're part of the picture, too. Canada's market is about USD 271.93 million in 2025. Slightly higher CAGR, actually 8.1%.
Oh, interesting.
The report suggests that's linked to an increase in sports injuries there specifically.
Okay.
And Mexico stands at USD 206.21 million with a CAGR of 7.8%. So solid growth across the board in North America.
Right. Now, moving across the Atlantic, Europe, second largest market.
That's right, capturing over 29% of global revenue, their market size in 2025. USD 1776.11 million. And a projected CGR of 7.8% through 2033.
Pretty similar growth rate to North America overall then.
Roughly, yeah. But what's interesting in Europe is the diversity within the continent.
Absolutely. Like the UK, for example,
Yeah.
showing a robust CGR of 8.6% on a 2025 market size of USD 298.39 million.
And the report attributes that, interestingly, to increasing public awareness around injury prevention.
Ah, okay. In Germany, bigger market size, USD 351.67 million in 2025, CGR of 8.0%, driven by something else.
Yeah, it's linked more to just a general rise in the number of people participating in sports.
Got it.
And you see these varied growth rates across other key European markets, too. France, Italy, Russia, Spain, even smaller ones like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg. It really highlights how different factors, maybe national health initiatives or just which sports are popular, can influence demand in each country.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now, let's talk about a region that's showing some, really impressive momentum. Asia Pacific, APAC.
Yes, APAC. They currently hold around 24% of the global revenue. Market size, USD 1,469.88 million in 2025.
Okay, so smaller than Europe currently.
Currently, but get this, their projected CGR from 2025 to 2033 is the highest in the world.
Really? How high?
a remarkable 11.6%.
Wow, that is high growth. That's a key story here.
Definitely. And China is a major contributor. Yeah. Big market size. USD 617.35 million in 2025 and an 11.1% CAGR.
Okay.
This growth is likely fueled by, well, significant investments they're making expanding healthcare infrastructure, making these devices just more accessible.
Right. And India,
India's got an even higher CAGR, 13.5%.
13.5.
Yeah. On a 2025 market of about USD 146.99 million. And the report points to a significant surge in just fitness awareness among the population as a major driver there.
Fascinating. So it's not just infrastructure, it's also cultural shifts towards fitness.
Seems to be a mix. And it's not just China and India, though. You look at Japan, South Korea, Australia, Southeast Asian nations, they're all contributing significantly to this dynamic growth in APAC. Each one has strong double-digit or near double-digit CAGRs. Singapore, Taiwan, too.
Yeah, I see Singapore at 11.9%, Taiwan 11.4%, Southeast Asia overall 12.4%.
Exactly. It really underscores this increasing emphasis on sports and well-being across that whole part of the world and the resulting demand for the medical tech to support it.
Okay, really strong growth in APAC. Let's quickly touch on the other regions, South America.
Right, South America accounts for just over 4% of global revenue. 2025 market size, USD 232.73 million. Healthy CGR, though, 9.5%.
Okay, any standouts there?
Brazil and Argentina are key markets. Brazil's 10.1% CAGR is linked to growing awareness of advanced sports injury treatments.
Right.
While Argentina's 10.4% growth seems supported by increasing government investment in healthcare overall, you also see good growth in Colombia, Peru, Chile.
Got it. And the Middle East, similar size.
Yeah, also around 4% global revenue. 2025 market size USD 244.98 million. But look at the CGR, 10.1%.
Oh, interesting. Higher than South America's overall.
It is. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are significant players. But Turkey and Qatar show even higher growth rates, actually.
Why is that?
Potentially a combination. Rising sports participation may be leading to more injuries, plus expanding healthcare investments in those specific nations. Qatar, especially with its focus on sports events.
Right, that makes sense. And Egypt also showing decent growth.
9.9% CAGR.
Okay, and finally, Africa. Smallest share.
Smallest for now, yes. Around 2.20% of global revenue, 2025 market size, USD 134.74 million.
But still growing.
Oh, yeah. Projected to grow at a solid CAGR of 9.1%.
Not bad at all.
Not at all. South Africa is the leading market there, driven by advancements in orthopedic treatments. Nigeria is also showing growth linked to rising awareness of injury management. So it suggests a growing recognition and adoption of these devices across the continent, even from a smaller base.
Okay, so that paints a really comprehensive picture of the global market, the regional differences.
Yeah.
Huge growth in APAC, solid growth elsewhere. Now, let's dive into the types of products. What makes up this market? The report segments it, right?
It does. And orthopedic products seem to be a real cornerstone here.
Makes sense for sports injuries.
Absolutely. Within orthopedics, artificial joint implants currently hold the largest slice of the market.
Why is that so big?
Well, it's not surprising, really, given how common joint injuries are. Plus arthritis, cartilage damage, things that affect both athletes and, the general population as they age or stay active.
Right.
So the growth there is fueled by more people staying active longer, aging populations facing more joint issues like osteoarthritis, and also just continuous improvements in the implants themselves.
Right.
Better materials, 3D printing, less invasive surgical techniques.
Okay, so that's the biggest part. But you mentioned growth rates earlier. What's the fastest growing segment within orthopedics?
That would be arthroscopy devices.
Arthroscopy and the minimally invasive camera stuff.
Exactly. And that minimally invasive nature is key. It translates to quicker recovery times.
Which is huge for athletes.
Huge. They want to get back in the game, right?
Yeah.
So it's increasingly used for common sports injuries, ACL tears, meniscus problems, rotator cuff repairs.
Makes sense.
Plus, the technology itself is constantly evolving. High-definition cameras, 3D imaging, even robotic-assisted arthroscopy now. It just makes it a more effective tool all the time.
Gotcha. And the orthopedic category also includes things like fracture repair devices, prostheses, orthobiologics.
Right, all contributing to that significant segment. But the report also highlights another major area, recovery and support products.
Okay, what falls under that?
Well, within this category, braces currently hold the largest market share.
Like knee braces, ankle braces?
Exactly. They're just so widely used for preventing injuries, helping with rehab, supporting recovery after surgery, across all sorts of joints.
And demand is growing there too.
Definitely. Driven by, again, the increasing number of sports injuries, but also conditions like osteoarthritis, ligament tears. And the braces themselves are getting better, more comfortable, more effective.
Okay, braces are the biggest share in recovery support. What's the fastest growing here? This is interesting. Performance monitoring devices.
Yes, this is a really hot area. We're talking wearable sensors, smart braces, AI-powered analytics.
Stuff that tracks your movement, your recovery.
Precisely. There's this growing desire for data-driven insights into athletic performance, yes, but also injury prevention, personalized recovery plans.
I can see the appeal for athletes and coaches.
Oh, absolutely. Athletes, coaches, physios, doctors, they're all recognizing the power of having real-time information to optimize training and rehab.
And what's driving that surge specifically? Just the tech getting better?
That's part of it. The rise of smart technology, the Internet of Things, wearables becoming more common, but also the trend towards remote healthcare, remote patient monitoring. It all feeds into it.
So if you're someone out there tracking your runs or workouts, expect to see even more sophisticated wearable tech coming down the line.
I think that's a safe bet, yeah.
And this recovery category also includes a whole bunch of other things, right? Like heat therapy, cold therapy.
Yep, accessories, thermotherapy, cryotherapy, ultrasound, electric stimulation devices, compression clothing. It's a pretty comprehensive toolkit for anyone active.
Okay. Now, who are the actual companies making all this stuff? What's the competitive landscape like?
Well, the report paints a picture of a highly competitive market, as you might expect. The big players, the leaders, are those constantly innovating, pushing technology forward, developing new products, and also forming strategic partnerships.
Who are the dominant names we might recognize?
You'll see names like Stryker, Arthrex, Smith & Nephew, Johnson & Johnson through their DePuy Synthes division, and Zimmer Biomet Holdings, Inc. Those are some of the major ones.
Okay, the established giants.
Right. But it's not just them. The report points out there are also emerging firms, smaller companies, focusing on really cutting-edge areas.
Like what?
Things like AI-driven wearables, building on that trend we just talked about, and also regenerative therapies.
Ah, interesting. So that sounds like where a lot of the future innovation might really come from.
Absolutely. It seems that way. And the strategies these companies use, big and small, go beyond just making better devices.
How so?
Well, they involve mergers, acquisitions, collaborations, often with sports organizations or healthcare providers directly. It's about broadening their market reach and also their influence within those sports and medical communities.
Okay. Did the report give any specific examples of that activity?
Yeah, a couple of recent ones. In June 2023, a company called Acutive Technologies launched a new ACL tendon fixation device.
Right.
Just highlights that ongoing product development.
Right, new tech hitting the market.
And in March 2023, Mueller Sports Medicine partnered with the Professional Football Athletic Trainers Society Foundation. Their goal was raising awareness about exertional heat stroke.
So that shows the collaboration side, focusing on athlete safety.
Exactly. These examples really just bring to life how dynamic this market is.
Yeah.
It's about tech innovation, yes, but also that strategic engagement within the wider sports and healthcare worlds. Both seem crucial for success.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. We've seen a global sports medicine device market that's, well, already substantial and clearly on a significant growth path.
Definitely upwards.
And this growth is being fueled by sort of two main things. Unfortunately, an increase in sports injuries, but also positively, more people just embracing active lifestyles.
That's the core dynamic, yeah.
We saw North America is currently the largest market, but Asia Pacific is where the really rapid growth is happening.
The fastest CAGR by far.
And product-wise, orthopedic products and recovery support products are the key segments. Within those, arthroscopy devices and those performance monitoring devices are really leading the charge in terms of growth rate.
Right, the minimally invasive surgery tech and the smart tracking tech.
And finally, it's a competitive field. You've got the established leaders, but also these exciting new players emerging, especially in areas like AI and regenerative medicine.
That's a great summary. Captures the core insights from this report really well. We've covered the numbers, the regional nuances, the key product trends. It paints a clear picture of the industry.
So as you, our listener, process all this, maybe think about the broader implications here. You know, if you're an athlete, what new technologies or treatments might become commonplace for you soon? Or if you're a healthcare provider, how might these market trends influence the tools and techniques you actually use day to day?
Yeah, and if you're involved in technology or innovation yourself, what unmet needs or opportunities might still exist as this market keeps expanding and evolving so quickly.
Exactly. Think about how that personalized monitoring, through wearables and the advancements in regenerative therapies, how could they fundamentally change how we approach sports injury treatment, maybe even prevention, in the years to come?
It's definitely a space to keep a close eye on. Lots happening.